Hi Rusty, I'm going to try using this camera, pretty crude old video camera. I don't know how it's going to work. Just take a walkthrough on the trail. We'll see what happens here. This is a view kind of at the very start of the playscape, looking over this way about where the living grass shelter would be. And if I keep from falling down, we'll try walking kind of down the sidewalk. Coming up, we're kind of showing that the sidewalk, actually the brick part, would kind of split at about this tree. We'll head over this way. The white line you can see is the rough layout of the where the living roof shelter would be, and kind of the white flags out here in the front are kind of where the edge of the sidewalk would roughly be, actually the brick area here. My blue flags, if they show up in this video at all going across here, kind of what I thought might be kind of a rough idea of where the stream would go, and heading over that way to where the storage tanks would be. Let's go backwards now, and we'll go back over to where the sidewalk splits. This is looking ahead at the sidewalk. I don't know if the white flags are going to show up at all here. We'll kind of follow this a ways as we go down the trail. The blue flags again are kind of where the bridge would roughly be. And kind of rough walking here as we go through the area. Looking off to the side here in kind of the bright light, you may be able to see some green and some stakes kind of staked out where I thought the hills would be and the height of each hill on it. Even though that varied some from what the plans were, hopefully it would be okay. I can try to draw that up more for you. This is showing walking up on the right side of the old building, and we're coming up to where that platform comes out of the front door of the building, thinking we'd probably want the sidewalk to be at that height for sure right there. And then coming around on the right side would be where the musical stage is going to be, over by that old walnut tree. On the left side would be where the walkway goes off. You can see those white flags would go off towards wherever we end up with the sand hut. This looking back over towards where the Nature Art Pavilion would be. Keep walking on this. And this area, I think here again with that sand play hut, it probably needs to come closer to this tree. You can see distance of about, maybe you can see a distance of about 10 feet between the two structures, if that's about right, even though I think I've got the sand hut a little too far to the west. Okay, we'll go over this way. We don't really know exactly where the stage will be yet, or exactly how the walkway will go out. Kind of keep following the pathway. And we're following the pathway now up to where it starts, where it hits the service road and curves towards the west. And if you can see the white outline, that's a rough idea of where the pump house would be, up into this area, with the walkway basically going through it somehow, however we do that. And standing basically in the pump house now, looking down towards through the area where the sand clay area would be. I'm not sure if you can see any of the other white lines down there or not. And I was kind of showing the sidewalk coming out further like this, if you can see these white flags. The blue flag's out there roughly where the water would be. I think it needs to be lengthened a little bit, like I said, and the sand hut moves a little further to the east and the south probably. This is really rough walking right here, so we may have some exciting filming. Here again, looking down, kind of back towards, that doesn't show up hardly at all, that being the pump house, and this being the sand clay area, back over towards where the music stage would be at, and down towards the sand clay hut. Here we're coming up towards what you would call the climbing tree. It's the golden rain tree, and showing the walkway going behind that. And the white outline here, and I wasn't sure how far to go over towards the road. We've got this really nice caddo sugar maple here that really wasn't on the plans, and I showed keeping it and maybe slid this a little further east than what maybe you had originally planned. That's showing basically the Nature Art Pavilion out through here. This other white line I've got is just a rough representation of where a water line might be run down that would branch off and provide water for both the sand clay hut and also a water outlet for the Nature Arts Pavilion, and maybe for irrigation too. This showing the walkway cutting between this ash tree and this redbud tree. Maybe kind of hard to see. Out in here is that really nice little magnolia tree. It's kind of in the open, and I'm not sure if that was actually shown in the plans or not, but I'd sure like to save it if possible. Showing the walkway again going this way, and off to the right here next to where the service road, we dug out that asphalt. This area off here to the right is where we kind of start the loose parts construction. This area also is one of the most full sun of all of the area, and could maybe be considered for some of the some of the gardening type projects. Would be a great place for that since it's full sun. Here again you can maybe see some of the outline of some of the hills that I drew in. Really doesn't show up probably very well for you. Just looking over at the area that's in the shade with the old holly trees and the London plane tree for the loose parts construction, and showing the path going this direction. And coming back up where the little stream and the bridge would be in this area, and the living roof shelter. Also back over here along the side of the pathway, I kind of cut out and showed where roughly the sod, what we were calling the sod cutout area would be, which would actually be probably just done with blocks of some sort, landscape blocks. Here's kind of an overview of the area again. You can see how much more open it is, how much larger it looks too as we look across here. I think I'm going to try to save this and see what you think. We'll take another look. This would be about where the waterfall area would be. Someplace up here, I suppose. We've got this white ash tree. Maybe the building needs to be slid down a little lower. I mean, a little further to the east. I was trying to save the bushes back behind it there, if possible. We took out several clumps of bushes and saved some that are a little bit nicer. See if that would work out. Another look back behind.